So hello and welcome back to my channel. I really felt the urge to do a new moon reading today on the evening of the new moon in Libra, and so I thought I would do one. It is raining outside, it is quite dark, but not too dark, but just the right amount of dark to be cozy. I can see gorgeous autumn leaf colours from my window, and yeah, I wanted to give you a little bit of that cozy autumnal transition-y energy and do a little reading for us. What is it that we need to see at this new moon Libra time? A time that is traditionally about balance, about harvest. What is it that we need to see at this new moon Libra time? A time that's also about balance and harmony in relationships, okay? What do we all need to see at this new moon Libra time? What do we all need to see at this new moon Libra time? What do we need to see at this new moon Libra time? I'm also struck by how green everything still is, you know? We may feel like it's kind of like grim and descending into the deepest, darkest winter, but we're still really early in that process. And we have a like vivid display of colours still, including green. That fresh energy is still very much with us. And I just picked the last of my windowsill garden herbs to put into dinner because I know that they're now beginning to kind of go dormant, right? Okay, what do we need to see for all of us at this new moon Libra time? What do we, ooh, first one there. I'm going to pull 3 cards to begin with. Second card for this new moon Libra time. Third card for this new moon Libra time. There we go. Alright, so we have the 2 of Sticks to begin with. Very much a card about surveying our options, not being sure which way to go. You see how he's got this flowing river in front of him and he hasn't decided if he's going left or right or if he's just going to dive straight in. Okay, so choice points. It's also the 2, which is that energy of Libra again, right? This is a choice point. 2 things, weighing up 2 options, very much Libra energy here, trying to achieve that balance and that harmony with what we choose. Then we have the 6 of Swords, really providing us with assurance that we can't particularly go wrong with what we choose, okay? He is valiant, right? He gets what he wants. You can see all of the foliage on these wands, or these sticks as it's called in this deck, which it talks about, you know, what I was just saying. It speaks to that freshness that's still alive in this time of darkness, okay? And this real joy. You can see that face there, that's like laughing with joy, okay? This is a really positive card talking about moving towards really good times. And then we have a Daughter of Knives, which is the Queen of Swords. There's a lot of thoughts present here, loads of them, symbolise all of these hands reaching up, okay? Then will also be, I'm hearing like a lot of mouths to feed. And I mean that figuratively. You may be really stretched. You may be really stretched right now in terms of your resources, and those resources could be monetarily, but those resources can also be energy. It feels like there's a lot of people vying for your attention, a lot of people that need you at this time. So you may be feeling a little bit crowded in, right? You may be feeling a little bit crowded in. You may also be feeling a little bit crowded in with the decisions you have to make. You may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed with this choice point that you have to make, okay? We are being shown here that everything will be okay and it will work out. But at this point where you're looking into that river, you don't know that, do you? So at this point, you're peering into the darkness and you're like, I don't know how it's going to go, right? You're like, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what's going to happen here. Okay, so you're in a time of temporary confusion, which makes sense. The new moon is the darkest time of the moon calendar. We don't necessarily see the moon in the sky. That's what a new moon is, a dark moon. So it's perfectly acceptable to feel confused at this time. This is a time to kind of bury those seeds in the soil, right? This is that time to plant new things, not necessarily to see them spring forward to completion, right? We're still at that planting phase. So it's all right to be a little bit confused, you know? Let's pull 3 more cards for what we need to see at this new moon in Libra. What else do we need to see at this new moon in Libra? What else do we need to see at this new moon in Libra? What else do we need to see at this new moon in Libra? Oh, okay, I'm putting those 2. I like that at the bottom of the deck we have Big Mama, who is the Sun card. So you see the lightness and the colour in this card? Definitely a positive omen, the most positive and powerful card in the deck, saying that even in this time of darkness, when you're not quite sure which way to go or what's going to happen, rest assured that everything will work out just fine. Big Mama promises us so, okay? So we have Gula Jack, who is the Hanged Man, coming up in the reverse, letting me know that at this choice point, at this time when you're trying to decide to go, like left or right, take the time to work it out. Hanged Man is in limbo. He is waiting, right? He is using this time, this pause, to gather more information and reach enlightenment. It's in the reverse, so you may be feeling really impatient. You may not want to wait any longer. But before you make a decision that could change your life, right, weigh up the options, think about ways in which to produce more harmony. If you think about the energy of this new moon, like I said at the beginning, it's Libra, so it is about positivity and harmony in relationships especially. So think about other people in this scenario, right? Think about how you can create harmony with others. Then on top of the 6 of Sticks, which assures us that positive movement will happen, we have 8 of Knives and the Ace of Knives, which came up in the reverse. So this is that positive movement, delayed, and because of that delay, you are feeling trapped. Okay, so this is very much a card about patience. Not a card, sorry. This is very much a reading about patience. We're really being guided to be patient at this time. To know that, yes, you are wanting to create better balance in your life by doing your next step, doing your next move, making your next choice. But be patient, allow yourself to make the right decision, taking other people's thoughts, feelings, and consequences on board, okay? Then we have Dr. Grant, which is the Hermit in reverse, and the 5 of Knives, which is the 5 of Swords in the reverse, on top of the Queen of Swords. So this is very much shaping up to be a reading about making sure you consult others. 5 of Swords can be a very competitive card. It can be very much focusing on who wins rather than a win-win. And obviously the Hermit is about going it alone. Both of these come up in the reverse, so you don't want to go it alone at this time. You don't want to be thinking about winning over the expense of others. You want to be working at creating harmony with others, okay? This is not a time to be alone necessarily. This is a time to work on your relationships with others. And that can be romantic relationships, that can be family relationships, that can be your relationships with your pets, you know? Maybe you have some things you need to work out in regards to a pet, taking them on a vet visit, for instance. That just popped into my head, so I thought I should say it. This is the time to sort out those things in relationships, whether they be with people close to us, with people in the other realms, you know, people who have passed on, or if they are to do with animals, or Are you working on your relationship with nature? Has your work-life balance become skewed? Are you spending more time sat in front of the computer than walking in nature? You know, think about those ways that you can bring harmony into your life. Think about how that matters to you. I'm going to pull 3 more cards to kind of bring this all together. What else do we need to see for this new moon in Libra? For all those watching this video, what else do we need to see for this new moon in Libra? Gorgeous. We have the Son of Baskets, which is the Page of Cups in traditional tarot. We have the Mother of Baskets, which is the Mother of Cups in traditional tarot. And we have Dem Bones, which is the Judgment card in traditional tarot. So these last 3 cards are reminding us of how important the children are, okay? How important, God, sorry, that all wanted to spill out of my mouth then. How important children are in our lives, whether that be our own children, whether that be children as in, you know, our future, whether that be the childlike parts of ourselves. There's something here about guarding that innocence, guarding that naivety, guarding that joyful acceptance. As we get older, you know, we get more jaded. And especially in circumstances where we're being asked to pause, to wait before making a decision, it can be really hard to connect to our child self. And this card reminds us to connect to our child self. It says, do not forget the children in our lives, the children in this world, and the children within us. And that child spirit is playful, that child spirit is creative. So a great way to use the energy of this new moon would be to indulge in creative practices, like I'm doing now by doing this tarot reading, right? Maybe doing some painting, some reading, some writing, you know, dancing to music, like I said earlier, spending time in nature. We see this waterfall in the background, so this is all about what makes you emotional, what brings you to that emotional peak, what brings you to that childlike place within yourself. The energies under this new moon would be perfect to explore that. This is followed up by the Mother of Cups, the Mother of Baskets. She is beckoning you, come, right? Come back to that soft, feminine, creative place that we all hold within us. She came up in the reverse, and we know that this is hard for you to connect with right now. I know this isn't actually an autumn leaf, but it looks like an autumn leaf to me. I think it's like some kind of flowery thing, I think, not sure. But it looks like autumn leaves to me. And it looks like she's calling to us to enter into this time with a spirit of softness, vulnerability, and creativity. I mean, this is just such a beautiful card, the way she is beckoning, right? Let yourself feel that as you gaze at this card, okay? Let yourself be welcomed into that energy. And then we have Dem Bones, which talks about judgment. It talks about being aghast at yourself. It talks about being like, huh? How could I do that? You may be really like astounded by how far away from your child self you have become. You may be really astounded by what you've had to do to survive. You may be really astounded by who you've become. And this new moon in Libra asks you to get back into balance with yourself, to accept the parts of yourself that you feel angry towards, to accept the parts of yourself that you feel have failed you. This is really powerful energy because it's saying all of the things that you are ashamed of. This is a great time to look them in the eye and forgive yourself. Okay? Look your flaws dead in the face and forgive yourself. We all stray from an idealised notion of what we thought we would be or what we thought our lives would look like when we were children. And now is the perfect time to reconcile that difference and to have grace with yourself for the gap between where you thought you'd be and where you are. You know, life isn't perfect for anybody, but we can live it more perfectly by accepting all of the flaws, you know, especially the flaws in ourselves. What gorgeous energy, and what a lovely reading about, you know, I think ultimately it's about forgiving ourselves. It's about reconciling that difference in our childhood selves and ourselves as we are now. What a great gift that is that this moon has given us. I'm going to pull just one card to close out the reading. One card for what we need to see for this new moon. Oh, and I have it. And it's great energy because we've had quite a lot of, you know, feminine energies coming through. And then we have the Father of Sticks. We have the Father here. Father of Sticks is about passion, about fire, again about creativity. So he reminds us that we need to renew our passion. He reminds us that our passions will be renewed under this influence. So by looking back, by reconciling those parts of ourselves, we will reignite this passion within and move forward in a really powerful manner. How beautiful, hey? Good luck. Take care. Bye.